Product of the Hart family dungeon, carrying on the legacy of the legendary Hart family in sports entertainment. Natalya always ready to handle things inside the ring.
Yeah, the daughter of Jim the Animal Neidhart, the niece of WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart.
Got the power of her father and the finesse of her uncle. Maybe the most respected superstar in the entire women's division.
The Irish lass kicker.
Go ahead, Byron. Get head over heels. Tell us why Becky Lynch is so great.
A young lady who has prided herself on being different. A young lady who has prided herself on thinking outside the box. And she has taken that mentality to tremendous success here in WWE.
Becky Lynch should be prosecuted for improper use of the metal horns, out here dressed like something out of an H.G. Wells novel.
Introducing the challenger from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Natalya. Introducing the champion from Dublin, Ireland, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
If you even think about moving, you better apologize. One woman Becky Lynch goes back a long way with is third-generation superstar Natalya. The two became friends during the 2005 independent tour of Japan.
Becky and Natalya went their separate ways, Cole, before reconnecting a decade later when Lynch debuted in WWE. It was a thing of beauty to see that friendship disintegrate so quickly.
Somebody's ego is going to be severely bruised after this submission match, guys. Nobody ever likes to utter the words, "I quit."
We discussed Becky Lynch's history with Natalya, and what stands out to me is that both are former SmackDown Live Women's Champions, and both superstars are experts in submission wrestling. There's no doubt about it, guys. The WWE Universe knows that they are in for one heck of a ride when the Irish Lass Kicker's disarmor locks up against Natalya's Sharpshooter. DDT!
Lights out.
Harsh impact. Oof! German suplex!
Beautiful technique.
Boom, what impact!
Slam down hard.
Natalya looking a little bit surprised here. With the championship on the line, she'll have to find a way to fire back.
You know, she's the kind of competitor that actually likes getting hit. It motivates her. And this might just be what she needs to put her over the top, believe it or not.
What an exploder.
Boom!
Oh, nasty impact.
Look at this. Big mistake there, Corey.
I'm a little surprised she even went for that at this point.
Natalya beginning to stumble a bit. She hoped to walk out of here with the title. At this point, though, it's not looking good for her. Guys, we're not used to seeing her like this. I wonder how she's going to respond here.
Attack to the midsection.
Looks like she wants to beat her inside the ring.
Oh, man, right to the arm. Hyperextend your elbow.
Ah, drop kick to the spine. Stop in the leg. Just nasty. This might be it. Oh, my.
One of the things a superstar who's competing in a submission match has to be careful of is if they have an injury or have been injured in the past and people know about it. You can bet in a submission match that your opponent is going to target that body part immediately. It's like having a giant bullseye on an arm, leg, ankle, or shoulder.
Elbow drop.
Up and down.
Natalya looks like she's down and out. Byron, you brought up that a submission match can be especially dangerous for a competitor who's injured or had a known injury. I think that's why it's just as important in a submission match to be able to reverse the submission move from an opponent as it is to apply a submission maneuver to an opponent. If a superstar can't reverse an opponent's submission, then they're certainly going to be in trouble.
Some superstars have more than one submission at their disposal, and it becomes a pick-your-poison scenario for their opponent. It also depends on the match. Some submission matches are based on winning via a submission move, and others involve a competitor having to use the specific submission they've chosen.
When we talk about submission matches, we have to speak about one that, in many people's eyes, set the standard. It was WrestleMania 13. Bret the Hitman Hart was in a heated rivalry with a brash star on the rise named Stone Cold Steve Austin. This match started like no other submission match, with the two superstars battling in the crowd and attempting to use ring steps as a weapon.
Byron, you mentioned the submission match between Bret Hart and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. The rivalry between the Hitman and Stone Cold was so intense that WWE had no choice but to appoint mixed martial arts. Becky Lynch may have it. She's wasting no time taking over this contest.
Yeah, I love the effort here, but
she breaks free.
I don't know how she did it, but that was impressive.
Wow, that won't separate your shoulder. That'll divorce it.
Scoop slam, clothesline. You gotta believe this one's over.
Nice calf kick. Great elevation.
Ooh, what impact.
in a submission match, the name of the game is to make your opponent tap out from a submission move. There have been so many submission specialists throughout the history of this great business. Bret Hitman Hart, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, William Regal, and Daniel Bryan are a few who come to mind. And on the women's side, I think about Alundra Blaze, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and the boss, Sasha Banks.
Oh my goodness, crushing it! Corey, earlier you spoke about a submission match, and one thing I'd like to point out is that a submission match is not necessarily the same as an I Quit match. The key difference is that a submission match requires the use of the submission maneuver. In an I Quit match, victory can be achieved by bringing your opponent to the point where they quit as a result of the overall punishment they've received in the match.
That's an important distinction, Michael, especially since a superstar can win an I Quit match by using the submission maneuver. For superstars who aren't proficient in submission moves, they enter this type of match at a disadvantage. It doesn't mean they can't win, but they need to perfect applying a submission move quickly. Come on, Corey, try and keep up.
The WWE Universe witnessed a classic submission match at 2016's Extreme Rules event. The Queen, Charlotte Flair, defended her Women's Championship against Natalya. One thing I thought was unfair about the match is that there was a ban against the Nature Boy Ric Flair being at ringside. If Flair appeared, Charlotte would lose the match and her women's crown.
Corey, you spoke of the submission match between Charlotte Flair and Natalya, and I need to point out that this match was not Flair's figure 8 versus Natalya's Sharpshooter. Victory could be achieved by making your opponent tap out to any submission maneuver. I think we all know why the Nature Boy was banned from ringside.
When Natalya had Charlotte locked in the Sharpshooter, it seemed that the Queen of Hearts was going to be crowned the new champion. Of course, that was until Dana Brooke distracted Natty, giving Charlotte the opening to lock on the figure 8 and force Natalya to submit. It wouldn't be a Flair match without a little bit of controversy, would it?
Something to keep in mind when squaring up with Becky Lynch is the last kicker can just as easily lock you in a submission as she can realign your spine with a suplex.
Yeah, it's obvious. Becky Lynch's repertoire is impressive. What concerns me the most, Cole, are her vicious strikes to an opponent. I'd say they've crossed the border of illegal.
A high-risk maneuver in the works from that top turnbuckle. Boom, what a kick.
Oh, no! Someone call the orthodontist.
As we mentioned, something that's become a trademark of Becky Lynch is her ability to dominate. Rolling through.
Oh, they got the disarmer. Man, she knows how to make a comeback.
I think Becky Lynch just secured this match.
Oh, straight forearm.
Nailed it. Oh, man. It's locked in.
Got a tap.
Oh, and a slam.
Harsh impact.
Oh, and a snapmare.
That'll give you whiplash.
An area where we've seen Becky Lynch excel was a SmackDown Live Survivor Series captain. She unified the Blue Brand's women to take on their Raw rivals.
Listen, I stay objective when it comes to brand rivalries, Cole, but
Natalya's done playing.
Going to have a hard time stopping Becky when she's doing this.
oh, the knee just being torn apart now. Great agility. It's locked in.
Got a tap. Got a tap.
No, she gets out of it.
But she's still struggling, Cole. The end might just be near for her.
Thunderous power slam. Oh, man.
Right to the arm.
Hyperextend your elbow. Nailed it.
Specifically targeting the leg. Looks like she wants to beat her inside the ring. Oh, the reversal by Becky Lynch. She's not looking good here, guys.
Man, she's got to get herself together here.
What a stomp. Good grief. She comes up big with the reversal. Back now inside the ring.
Oh, no, this isn't going to end well.
Smart strategy. Attack the knee.
Becky Lynch, the Bexploder.
That's it. That's what she needed. And the slam.
Drop kick. Beautiful. Right to the back of the neck.
Tear the features clean off your face.
Becky Lynch is looking for the ending.
She can't take much more of this.
Becky Lynch. Got the disarmer. I do not like Natalya's chances here, guys.
Unreal performance.
Here is your winner, and still the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
And Becky Lynch walks away with the W.
No shame in tapping out to that move. Wow, that looked incredibly painful.
No surprise there. That was exactly what we expected when the match was announced for SummerSlam. What an incredible effort all around.